Hi Year 9, this is Mr. Gill. I'm going to talk to you about what iGCSE history is, and hopefully by the end of it, lots of you will want to take it for next year. So there are 4 topics that we learn about. You can see them on the list here. The first 3 we do in Year 10, and then the 4th one we would do in Year 11. We look at the Cold War, happened after the Second World War. It's really interesting because it's not really a war as such, and it happened in lots of different places at lots of different times. So it takes us to places like Berlin, Hungary, China, Korea, the Middle East. It's always really, really popular, and it's still an important topic for today. The second one is Vietnam. So we'll look at just one example of a war. We'll go into depth on it. Again, it's really popular. It's in a lot of films and popular culture, especially if you like American culture, because America actually lost this war despite having the most advanced military in the world at the time. The third one is one that students maybe don't know as much about usually when they start iGCSE, which is China. And it's always the one that they carry away with them and seem to enjoy the most. We'll look at China over 100 years, and we'll be thinking about how much it actually changed during that period. It's a really fascinating topic. In fact, I think you'd be amazed at some of the things that happened in such kind of recent history. The last one, we'll look at a dictatorship. We'll look at just one leader, Stalin, and what his rule was like over the USSR, which is largely Russia, but it included other countries as well. Okay, these are some of the key skills and concepts in iGCSE history. We'll think about why do things happen and what the consequences or the effects of those events. We'll be thinking about how much their history has changed, in particular in China, for that topic. We'll be thinking about significance, so what makes an event important, but also the job of the historian is to decide what might be the most important aspect or event or individual when we analyse a certain period or a certain country. So those are skills we'll practice, and then we'll also be using lots of historical sources, whether primary or secondary, and so you'll be developing all of them key skills as historians. The exam at the end is split into 2 parts, paper 1 and paper 2. They're both an hour and a half long each. We do 4 topics, and they each assess 2 topics. 2 topics of paper 1, 2 topics of paper 2, and they've each got 3 questions on. So all the questions are extended writing. They've all got an essay as well, so you'll write 4 essays over the two exams, and that means that you're developing really good literacy skills, but it also means it's a serious subject, and it does require, like all your subjects, some serious work. This is the last slide from me, why I think you should study history. You'll develop your cultural knowledge of world history. That's always a good one, especially if you like to travel and meet new people and just generally be aware of why the world is the way it is today. You'll develop transferable literacy skills. We've mentioned some of those already. And it's not just essay writing, but it's also your critical thinking skills. How do we interpret information and how do we make sense of things like political speeches and how should we try and kind of find meaning in all these crazy events that are going on in the world. History definitely helps with that. You'll develop a passion for thinking about politics and society. So if you're the kind of person who's interested in power, if you're interested in ideas about fairness, if you're interested in the idea of women and how women have made progress over history, or ethnic and minority groups, or the treatment of religion, these are all aspects of GCSE history, and I think you really enjoy it if that's you and your personality. It'll impress universities. It's a very well-respected academic qualification, even at GCSE. It shows them literacy skills, as we've mentioned, but it also shows you're probably quite a naturally interested person in others and what's going on in the world. And lastly, it opens the door to lots of careers. So that might be research, it might be government policy and international relations, it might be working in museums, in teaching, in journalism, but it does open the door to lots of other careers as well, because it does develop such a range of your literacy skills, and because you are showing that you're naturally passionate about learning, that's definitely sought after in lots of different areas. So hopefully that helps, and I look forward to answering any questions that you might have in lessons over the coming weeks and months. Thanks.